This conference will now be recorded.
Hello all, welcome to Isha Training Solutions. I'm Naveen. I'll be your trainer. So I'll be walking you through the entire course on on how we can do this performance testing using NeoLoad. Right. So yes, let's get started. Uh, okay, fine. So know your instructor. Um, so I'm Naveen Kumar. I'm a certified expert in NeoLoad. I have worked across various domains. Some of the domains I have listed below: retail, banking, finance, insurance, healthcare, telecom, logistics, and few other domains I haven't mentioned. I have little over 750 plus hours of live training experience. Okay, so this is my credentials. Okay, as you can see, it's a certified expert. So this I had done late 2018 or early 2019. That was a time when NeoLoad was with Neotis. Now it has been acquired by Tricentis. So Tricentis offers professional certification. There is no expert certification. So we'll also look from professional certifications how we can, what are the steps one should do to clear a professional certification, where we can add much more weightage to the profile, uh, right? What are the benefits from this course that we are going to get? Okay, so there is going to be a live question and answer clarifications on each and every sessions. Okay, so we'll be learning about some topics, and then there would be some hands-on about the tool itself, and then towards the end of the session, we can the floor will be open for question and answers, which will be it's live clarified. All the sessions are recorded, uh, and it is lifetime access to the learners. So in case if anybody has missed any sessions, need not worry. Every sessions are recorded, and the recorded sessions will be given access to you. Okay. There will also be live troubleshooting sessions. Okay, in case if you are working on any specific application and you are facing some trouble, and if you need some session, I'll make you a presenter, and uh, either we can have a separate session, or uh, uh, this will also create a learning opportunity for the other learners, where we can troubleshoot it together. Okay, so there will be a live troubleshooting sessions also included, and of course, NeoLoad professional certification support. So I'll be giving hints, guidance, how you can clear a professional certification. Okay, and once you have cleared a professional certification, this will add a lot of weightage to your profile moving forward. Okay, so some of the course content. Okay, there of course there will be we'll be touching on some of the performance testing concepts, which is mostly the basics and the fundamentals. There will also be separate sets of uh, sessions, which will be taken by Kumar sir, where he'll be showing on discussing on some of the basics, uh, touching on PT concepts. Of course, we'll be learning about NeoLoad's features and its functionalities, okay, and various components of a NeoLoad, and all of these are going to be a practical demonstration, and it is going to be hands-on session. Okay, so there is going to be 4 sessions per week. I think it's saved. Okay, so around 1 to 1.5 hours per session, and a total of 18 to 20 sessions. Okay, it's this 1 to 1.5 hours is based on the topic that we are going to discuss, and sometimes right, to come to a logical ending, this might get a little bit extended. Okay, and there will be a practical lab sessions during the weekends. Okay, where we will be, so whatever that we are learning, there'll be an opportunity where we can create it in our own systems. Okay, this we can do it. Before we move on to uh, other aspects, let's look at the course content. Okay, so this is the course content and what all the things that we are going to learn. um, so some introduction about PT and NeoLoad, and we'll be learning about different components, that is different modules, design, runtime, analysis, or the results. So let me open up the previous batch uh, scripts, or the project what we had done. We will be able to understand, like, it's taking some time, so let it load. Okay, okay, so as you can see, these are the different modules that are there. Okay, uh, design, runtime, results. Okay, under design we'll be recording, creating the scripts, enhancing. Under enhancements we will do correlation, parameterization, validation, exception handling, all of them. Okay, to give us short glimpse, so we can see this from the course content. I will be sharing this course content in the group itself. Okay, so we can check. So from the correlation perspective, correlation has different types of correlation NeoLoad offers. There is auto correlation, automatic configuration, manual correlation, advanced correlation, randomization. All of them will be creating a separate scripts. As you can see, this AC, this is auto correlation, automatic configuration, manual correlation, advanced correlation, randomization. This is on the variables. So we'll be creating different types of variables. As you can see, this is a previous batches one, and we have created a lot of variables, different types, and how we'll be learning about different policies, um, etc. And from the population we will create different population as well, and monitors. uh, this is we'll create monitoring, monitor agents. We'll be learning on the performance counters, how we can keep tabs about the server health. Okay, under load. And of course, from the runtime perspective, different user scenarios we'll create. We'll learn about different types of performance testing, and how one type is different from other. Okay, how one should take advantage of these different policies. There is duration policy, load variation policy, start policy, stop policy, pre-monitoring, post-monitoring. There are various aspects. We will be learning all of them. Not just that, we will also do live executions. Okay, so I'm just going towards results. Okay, so we have done few rounds of executions, all these different rounds. Uh, some of them are, we learn about rendezvous, uh, so you can see like some executions with errors, some executions without errors. um, we'll be learning about learning with different types of policies, right? All these various executions that we will do, and also we will analyze the results. We will learn about this uh, transactions, populations, user path, etc. And then also learn about this results manager, right? Applying an SLA, comparisons, comparing two different executions, statistics, changing the granularity. Uh, there is just so many to it to learn. Okay, so just going back, and yes, and we will also be learning about some of these logical actions. You can see some uh, some of the popular or frequently used logical actions. So one of them is this JavaScript. We will be writing a custom code, uh, right? Some the built-in NeoLoad feature, sometimes it does not allow us to do certain actions, so we can take advantage of them, right? So this is just a short, I would like to show like what are we are going to learn from this course, and this is just a previous batch uh, course. Okay, so so I would like to open the floor for any questions. Before we could go ahead and then start with the recording, a simple recording. So anybody has any questions about the course, or the course content, or anything, please ask. You can also use the chat box in case if you are unable to speak.
Hi Naveen, Pravalika this side.
Hi Pravalika.
Like from when will the course start? Like the actual course structure and everything starts.
It'll start from tomorrow.
Okay.
Yes, the actual sessions. I mean, you are saying like without the demo, right?
Yeah, just wanted to know like how for how many days does the demo sessions will be there, and from the actual sessions will be there regarding the course content. Just wanted to
So
know
the
regarding that.
demo is only for today. Uh,
Okay.
we will be starting from the actual session from tomorrow,
Okay.
but still the floor will be open before the actual enrollment happens. Still, like two or three sessions will be open for everyone. Okay, the learners can evaluate, but after like 2 3 sessions it gets closed.
Can we know the timings of this of the session?
Timing is 9 to 10 p.m.
Okay.
IST.
Evening. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Thanks, Naveen.
So welcome. So any other queries, you would like to know about, maybe why NeoLoad, or anything apart from this what I have shown? Okay, I take that as a no. Fine. Let me create a new project. Okay, so I'm going ahead. Say, okay, I'm creating a new project. Okay, so this is how I'll go to file, click on new. Okay, and can just provide the directory, and then can create a new project. Okay, so once we have created a project, this is how it will be. Okay, there are uh, so different modules here. Design modules is usually used for creating, recording, enhancing the user scripts. Okay, the scripts are going to be called as user path uh, in NeoLoad. Okay, that's the term that NeoLoad is going to use. Okay, so let's get started uh, with a simple recording. Okay, so as we can see here, uh, start recording. Okay, this is used to record. Either I can use this, click on this, or I can click on here, starting. Okay, to record the script. So I'm clicking on this. Okay, after I click on this start recording button, so I'll get this start recording wizard. So under this, so there is this man type icon. So whenever we see this man icon, this means it's just the user path. Okay, so here the default name is user path. Okay, I'm just going to say this as let's say jpeg record, something like this. Okay, I'm just providing a name this. So where this has to record, so again this is very similar to LoadRunner. Okay, I think some of you may have worked with LoadRunner. LoadRunner has this three uh, parts, that is like init, actions, and end. Similarly, NeoLoad has that same kind of setup here. Okay, this violet color box. Okay, these are called as containers. Okay, so record in. So default it gets recorded in actions. Okay, below we are seeing different types of let's say protocols. Okay, there is web. So as far as this course is concerned, we are going to learn about only web protocol. Okay, the other protocols is not included as a part of this course. Okay, so we'll be working on web protocol. Under this web, again, there is a start client. So if I click on this drop down, I'll be able to see these are the web browsers that are available in this specific system. Okay, so Internet Explorer, Firefox, Google Chrome, Edge, all of them. If we have more browsers, this, and if NeoLoad recognizes them, it'll get listed here. Maybe there is a Brave browser, right? And maybe Safari and many other browsers are also there in the market. So I'll just go ahead use Internet Explorer itself. Okay, and before we start recording, these two options needs to be enabled: deleting the cookies and clearing the cache. So this will ensure that we have the recording is fresh. Okay, fine. Identify as this we will discuss as we progress. Okay, and even the advanced options we will discuss as we progress. Okay, fine. I'll just click on OK. So after I click on OK, I'll get this recording bar. This is called as a recording bar. Okay, and NeoLoad has invoked a, an Internet Explorer session. Okay, and this has invoked with a proxy server. So whatever that whatever action that I perform in this Internet Explorer, right, or in this instance, this gets directly recorded, okay, as a script. And this is true with any other performance testing tool, be it Jmeter, LoadRunner. There are even other tools like the RPT, etc. Yeah. So basically, what it does, it's going to record the network traffic, whatever that happens in this instance. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm going to launch this application. Okay, so here what we see is there are different options here. There is pause, stop, record in where this has to get recorded. There is transaction. Okay, this is where we have to feed in the transaction name. Okay, so I'm just going to launch this. Okay, since I already have this last recorded URL listed here, I can click on it, or I can copy this URL, paste it in the address bar, and then launch it. Okay, I have. There are different ways to do it. I'll just click on more information, go on to this website. Okay, now I have launched this website. Okay, then maybe I would like to uh, click fish. Okay, so I'll just change the transaction name, click fish, and then I clicked on fish. Okay, so we have to wait until the entire uh, web page gets loaded completely. Okay, since it's a simple application, this will probably load quickly. Okay, and it has already loaded. Okay, click on angelfish, click on this, and click on item on this. Okay, this has loaded. I'm just continuing. I'm recording different transactions. Okay, then maybe I would like to come back to the home page. Okay, so I have come back. Now let's say I have completed with the recording, and then I'm going to stop this recording using this button. Okay, I'll click on stop. Okay, after the completion of the recording, we will get this post recording wizard. Okay, there are some cool options that we will find in this post recording wizard. um, so initially what we get is this hosts selection. So whichever the web pages or the application, that web application that it has accessed, this would get listed here. Okay, since it's a simple application, we are seeing only this pet store uh, host. Okay, this will not be the case in real-time application. When we record something, we'll get a lot of um, hosts here. There will be let's say Google Analytics, social handles, weather, GVTs, Google APIs, and many other, and some, maybe there could be some third-party links as well that gets listed here. Okay, we have to carefully uncheck that is not in our in the performance testing scope. Okay, here we have only one, so we just retain this and then click on next. Okay, and here the second option is to search and identify the dynamic parameters. Okay, so this will work based on the framework rules and the generic dynamic parameters. Okay, if at all, if we are doing a fresh recording, okay, we should not use this. Okay, as this has an ability to uh, change the requests itself. Okay, so on ideal circumstance, we have to skip this step. Okay, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to skip this step. I'm not going to take advantage of this. In case if we want to take advantage of this, we can do this later also, which I'll show you as we proceed. So this is basically uh, a built-in NeoLoads feature where it will attempt to handle all the dynamic parameters. Okay, so I'm skipping this step, and then so next option is the think time parameter. Okay, we will be discussing about this think time. Okay, we'll be discussing about think time, pacing, and other PT concepts like workflow, scenario, user scenario, different types. All of them we'll be discussing. Okay, but as we progress, we will discuss one by one. Okay. So for now the default option is we can just use the recorded think time. Okay, I'm just going to use the same thing. Okay, use the recorded think time. But we, as we progress, let's say like when we set up a scenario, we would probably change these think time little differently. Okay, and then we will also probably create certain necessary parameters and delays and other aspects we'll be discussing. Okay, so for now I'll keep this as it is, and then I'll click on finish. Okay, now what we are seeing is this script. Okay, so I'm just expanding this. So under this I'm seeing init, action, and end. We have recorded all of them in under action itself, so there is nothing in init or end. Okay, so these are the different transactions that are associated with this. So this yellow folder, what we see is the transaction, individual transaction.
And hello, Naveen. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes, yes, we know. Yeah,
So, do
please.
we have auto think time and transaction names while recording same as LoadRunner here? Uh,
Sorry.
and for each and every request, like we are recording, right? So while recording
Uh-huh.
itself, we can write the transaction names and auto think time also given by before recording only. Same like LoadRunner here.
uh, you can provide the name, that is the transaction name. Okay, um, but think time can be modified later after the recording, not during the recording.
Okay, Naveen. Got it. Thanks.
So let me continue. So I'm just simply expanding this. Okay, I'm just expanding this. uh, so I have expanded the launch transaction. Okay, under this launch transaction, so let me walk you through this hierarchy. So all this white document type icons, these are individual requests. Okay, so all these are requests, and the same document type icon with a blue ball, this is these are pages. Okay, um, and then this yellow folders are the transactions, violet folders are the containers, and human icon is the user path. Okay, or in other words it's the script. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just open uh, Google Chrome. So I'm just opening this. I'm just bringing up the Google Chrome developer tool. Okay, to open Google Chrome developer tool, there are different options. You can click on this three dots, go to more tools, and click on developer tools. Okay, this will just open, or you can use the shortcut Control Shift I. This will open, or you can use F12 key. Again, that will also open this. Okay, so I'm just going to refresh this. Okay, so what we are seeing is the network tab. Under this network tab, so what is, these are the different requests that gets executed in the backend. Okay, so there is a catalog.action, which is a document type. There are some css, gifs, and some non html resources that gets executed. Okay, if we try to compare the script. Okay, so I'm just okay, so if we see this, right, so catalog attack, it starts with this catalog.action, catalog.action, jpeg store.css, css, some top bar dot gifs, and you can see this, right? Most of them, whatever that it got loaded as a part of this page gets recorded as a part of this transaction itself. Okay, so these gifs or these css's or other non-html resources, images, is responsible to keep the page like this. Okay, and same can be seen, this gets recorded as a part of the transaction itself. Okay, fine. So now I have just recorded. Okay, so if we see this specific uh, a workflow, right? So a workflow is just a series of user actions. Okay, so we can say this, let's say I'm the user and I'm just making some actions here, like I'm clicking on fish, maybe I'm clicking on something else, right? And let's say I'm searching something here and then clicking on, so let's say thing like this. Okay, and then I'm getting some results here, right? All of this can be called as an user action. Okay, or in other words, it can be called as a transaction. Okay, so these transactions also can be divided into different types. One is unauthenticated. Okay, I haven't entered any username or password or anything that makes these transactions highly critical or data intensive. It was not like that. Okay, so this can be called as an unauthenticated workflow. Okay, or an unauthenticated script. Okay, any unauthenticated scripts can be replayed without any enhancements here, like so. Usually authenticated transactions or authenticated scripts needs correlation needs to be done, okay, before this can be replayed. So let's go ahead and replay this. Okay, so you can see this, right? There is a user path icon with a tick mark. Okay, this is used to uh, replay, okay, or check the user path validity. So before we go ahead and start checking, one option that what we have to do is to go to advanced and change this handle cache to new user. This needs to be done by default, so that every time this gets replayed, a new user gets simulated. Okay, just click on start checking. Ideally this should replay. Also while creating the scripts, it is not necessary for us to include all these non-html resources. Okay, so I have replayed this and I'm seeing there are two errors. Okay, so this is the first error, and it is just an icon. It says like 404 not found. Anyway, we can ignore this. It's a part of non-html resource. Okay, so how we can do is I can just navigate this. I can right click this and select this in design and then disable it. I can disable this whole thing. Okay, something like this. Okay, and yes, and this is just a short demo just to give a gist of it, like how we can get started. Okay, I'll just go back to the previous batch uh, one, in case if you have any more questions, I'll be happy to take it. You can also use chat box. case if you are unable to speak.
Hi Naveen, this is Kavita. Can you hear me?
Yes, hi Kavita. Good evening.
Hi Naveen. Sorry I joined late first, so I didn't hear the entire demo that you gave. I saw the script that you generated just now. I saw the GIF files and everything else along with the transaction that you
Mhm.
had, the transaction request. So can we delete all those GIF files if we don't need it and then just keep the transaction request simple, or do you need to have those all the GIF files?
Yes, good question. Um, See, it depends. One thing is what we have to understand is we have to understand from the business perspective whether if they okay, from the performance standard perspective we will not include them. We have to just simply disable it. Okay.
Okay.
So for example, if I open this some previous one, so this is how it should be. All the CSS, GIF files, mm, other non-HTML resources, or in other words, it can be also called as embedded resources. Embedded resources uh, has to be disabled. This need not to be a part of the performance testing. Okay, during the execution. Okay,
Okay.
but it depends on the business. Okay, when I say it depends on the business, there are some businesses which are highly resource intensive businesses. Okay, to give you a short example, like what do I mean by a highly resource intensive business? Okay, so I think this is I think some of you may already know about this Mac Cosmetics. Okay, Mac Cosmetics is one of the popular uh, brand in in making cosmetics. Okay, products. Okay, so I'm just opening this. So let me refresh this. Okay, so if we see this this business, right, it is highly resource intensive. Like it has lot of images, colorful pictures. uh, so it has gifs, it has all kinds of non-HTML resources, and their business core is to have the websites like this, right? So without they having such a colorful, attractive pages with lots of colors included, uh, they actually don't have a proper business, right? And if we see here, it's the time that it is taking to download, it's quite high, right? You can see this is it's more than 22 MB, and as I scroll down, it gets more and more requests gets executed, and you can see this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a resource intensive business. Okay, for any business which comes under this category, that is resource intensive, then we have to keep all this images, gifs, all this non-HTML content enabled. So how we can get this information? We have to discuss this with the business itself, like some of the either uh, product owner or some senior folks. If we have a discussion with them, then probably we will get information from them. Okay. So any business, let's say like we are looking at something, um, let's say something like this. Okay, I think you must know about this also, Procto. Okay, it's just an aggregator platform which is which would connect a patient and doctor. So it's that is this platform's uh, core. And if we see this, right, this page looks much cleaner and neat. It does not have it doesn't use much images or something. It does not require what we have just seen here, right? So so by looking at the web application itself, we can easily understand whether if this is a resource intensive or non resource intensive. Eh, Applications like this we can directly go ahead and then disable all the non-HTML resources.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Anything you would like to know about from the tool perspective?
So, Naveen, this is Rashmi again. So my question is here, like many a time, like session ID expire. So in that access token expired, do we need to set a variable that will stay? And with that, we can run the script without having the issue with the session token, access token, and session ID.
Good question, Rashmi. So, see, what happens is whenever we are accessing any application, this will have some kind of session ID or access token, bearer token, different kinds of tokens uh, that gets generated. Okay, these tokens are sent by the server itself. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so the server will be expecting the user to provide the session ID back to the server. Okay, so that the session is retained. Okay, so if you notice any highly secured applications or highly secured compliant applications, or even the domains, like let's say banking domain, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we are inactive for some time on the banking application, it will directly invalidate that specific session, and it will ask us to re-log in again once again, something
Mm-hmm.
like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So why it is doing is it is tracking, that is the user session is being tracked by the server
Mm-hmm.
through this session IDs, through this access tokens. And there could be different uh, variables also, like client ID, client secret, and it based on the developer, they must have introduced some algorithm and something, like some kind of mechanism where uh, these user sessions are retained properly, and
Mm-hmm.
then catered, and it is secured, also it is compliant. Okay, in case if we take a, application or any social media, right? For example, Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
I can have multiple sessions. I can keep the Facebook opened on my phone. I can have one session going on. I can have uh, open a browser on my desktop and log into my Facebook, and then have another a completely distinct session, which is uh, you know uh, non-comparable between a phone session and a browser session, completely different, and still Facebook would allow me to uh, work with that. And it will not probably log me out, or it will not say, it is not like banking application, right? Where it is not very strict. I can go back, I can go forward. I think in probably in some bank applications, if you click on back button, then uh, probably your session gets ended, right? Because it follows very strict rules, so that uh, the users are protected from maybe hacks or something, right? Or it is just to ensure like highly secured compliant environment that they are providing. And and we have to handle all these sessions properly, right? In case if
Mm-hmm.
we don't handle them, then then probably the script will fail, because the server will be expecting some session ID or some access token, but we would be, let's say if we are providing a wrong session ID or wrong access token, the server will not allow us to proceed. It will probably throw an error saying like the session ID is not matching, or maybe it is a bad request, or you are being unauthorized, 401 unauthorized, kind of issues that we will face. Okay, so how do we handle this? We will we can handle this using the concept called correlation. Okay, NeoLoad offers a variety of correlation options. There is auto correlation, automatic configuration, manual correlation, not advanced correlation, all of different options that are there. Okay,
Yeah.
so we have to use them, use these features, and then handle them properly. And please be informed, correlation just amounts 80% of the scripting progress. That means if we just get the correlation right, that means 80% of the script is done. Or
Mhm.
in other words, we have done all the other activity. Let's say we have done parameterization, validation, error handling, exception handling, all other aspects about scripting, but correlation is not done. That means 80% of the scripting is still not done. Okay, it is that important. And most of the scripting based challenges that we see is just on the correlation itself, or this handling this dynamic values. uh, yeah, so this has to be handled.
So how this need to be handled? That's my question. Is like whenever I run my script, it happened
Mhm.
like session ID get expired, and because of that script is failing, sometime access token is not working. So every time, do we need to re-record the script, or do
No,
we
no, no, no,
set a variable
no, we
for?
just correct. Sorry to interrupt. um, so the recording and development is just one time activity.
Mhm.
Okay, we need not re-record and redo it. That is not the case. um, we just have to do recording once, but the development should be proper in such a way that it handles it. So whenever a new token gets generated, the developed script should be able to handle them properly. This we will see as we progress, when we, because so after like initial 2 to 3 sessions, we will be starting with the correlation itself. That's how the course is designed, and
Mhm.
correlation will take some time. There are a lot of aspects that we'll be learning from the correlation perspective.
Main correlation is like setting up the variables.
Sorry, can you please repeat?
Correlation is setting up the variables.
No, setting of the variables is parameterization,
Okay.
which comes under variable manager. Okay,
Uh,
correlation is handling of these dynamic values, which
mhm.
comes in the variable extractor.
Okay.
Okay, it's distinctly different. Or in other words, we can say like correlation is something, some kind of data which is sent by the server, and we are handling them. Parameterization is kind of user defined variables or user defined parameters, which is sent by the server, sent by the user itself. For
So,
example, username and password.
so do we have this correlation here in the screen somewhere? Like I can see the variable, but where's the correlation? There's some icon there and for correlation and how it is works. I don't know.
uh, Sorry, can you please repeat your question?
I said, look, on the top of the tool, you can see the variable. On that function button is the variables. So do we have any button for the correlation, or this is something while recording you do the correlation?
Yes. No, no, no. The correlation is not done um, during the recording, but once we complete the recording, we have to identify the dynamic variables. This we will be learning in detail. Okay, first we have to identify the variables, and
Yeah,
then we
what
have to identify
have
where
we?
this variable is getting generated,
Sorry to
and then we
interrupt.
have to use uh,
I said my questions are: do we have any icon for correlation on the
no,
screen?
no, no,
No,
no,
that's
we don't.
so. One more question: that do we like you gave the example for the Facebook? So if the Facebook have
Hmm,
added one new feature, and we already have the recording for that particular feature, suppose sign-in feature. So earlier
hmm.
sign-in is supposed like first name and last name, and then they change it to first it comes the last name, and then it will come the first name. So do we need to go and change the script, or are we re-recording the whole script again for that?
Okay, good question. See, what happens whenever there is a feature addition, modifications, changes that happens in the code level? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes with a simple modification on the script, uh, we can uh, we can still make it work. But most of the times, that is 90% of the times, the script will likely to fail. It will not work as expected. So it
Mm-hmm.
is best we have to re-record, create the script from the scratch.
Mm-hmm.
And another best way to see these scripts are like if any script which is more than 3 months old, okay,
Mm-hmm.
we can consider them as kind of obsolete.
Okay.
Because if especially with the CI/CD or release based projects, right, every release some kind of code changes will be happening.
Yeah.
Okay, and because of that change, in 3 months time, in 4 months time,
Mm-hmm.
let's say like they don't, some projects will do performance execution every quarter,
Mm-hmm.
right, and in but they will have a release every month. In those kind of projects, 3 months with different releases, the project would will evolve to a different uh, let's say with a different build and code, and it is best we redo it. Okay, we can try to work with the existing script. If it works, it's well and good.
Mm-hmm.
But in case if it fails, best not to try to modify or fix the existing script.
Mm-hmm.
Redoing is the best option.
So one more question is here, like in the use session, are
Hmm.
you going to explain about the error codes and what 401 stands for, what 200, why 500, what
Uh-huh.
400? So why we are getting all those kind of errors? So are you going to explain the troubleshooting for
Yes,
those?
yes, yes, we will be. Yeah, yeah, all those are included also. So those are response code. Okay, it's on other, or in other words, it is also called as HTTP status code. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we'll be learning about all this 200 series, 300 series, 400 series, 500 series, why we are getting these kind of errors, and what this number means to us, right? How we should resolve them, uh, right? All this we'll be also discussing.
And how to read the reports that you're gonna explain, right? Like how we gonna read the report after running the
That is
report.
the results, right? Yes, yes. Yeah, results, analysis, how we should analyze the scripts, sorry, analyze the execution,
Mm-hmm.
what parameters that we should look at, how to draw observation from by looking at this the data that we are seeing. We will be learning about this as well.
We're running all this like how to setting up the ramp up peaks, custom and constant and other scenarios, right?
Yes, 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 user scenarios, of
Okay.
course. So if you can see this, right,
Uh,
these are different user scenarios, and we have different settings here.
mhm.
uh, you got it right. So all these are created in the previous session. We'll be doing the similar kind of creation in this batch as well. Okay.
So after completing the session, you like we can expect that we can run our own reports and we can run our own script.
Yes, I would say like in 2 weeks time. So most of the things will be taught, like from design to results,
Mhm.
in 2 weeks time. So after that we'll be exploring some of these logical actions. Okay.
Okay.
So I think in 2 weeks time, I think everyone should be able to create, uh, enhance your script,
Mhm.
set up a scenario, execute, analyze, report. Or,
Got your point. Thank you.
or so, any other queries?
I think I'm good. If anybody else has to.
Okay. So there are no queries. We can wrap it up.
So what is the timing for the weekend session? You said like we can have some working out session over the weekend. So
Huh.
what is the time for those?
Weekend depends on yes. So we can so once we get this enrolled list, we
Mm-hmm.
can have a discussion within ourselves, like when we should have this practical lab sessions separately, and then we can have it. But it is most likely it should be like midday IST hours, or
Gotcha.
this can be discussed. Okay, this can be, there's no.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah. Any more queries? You have this. You can also use chat box. Okay, I take that as a no. Fine then. Thank you all for joining. Uh, I hope it was, and we are just getting started. I'll see you all tomorrow, same time. Thank you.
Thank you.